네, 안녕하세요 여러분. 오라클 솔루션데이 세 번째 세션입니다. 그래서 아까 말씀드린 것처럼 이제 CRM이 아니라 요즘 모든 UX 이런 것처럼 이제는 어떤 경험, 익스피리언스가 중요하지 않습니까? 그래서 오늘은 CXM, 커스터머 익스피리언스 매니지먼트, CRM의 진화된 모습을 오늘 한번 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 그래서 오늘 동영상을 지금부터 보실 텐데요. 이거는 이제 해외에서 제작된 거니까 여러분들 물론 이제 더빙을 했지만 한글로 약간 어색한 거 있을지 모르겠지만 실제로 그 내용 자체를 잘 주의 있게 보시고요. 설문조사 할 테니까 설문 내용이시고 여기서 질문은 저희가 답변을 드릴 수가 없습니다. 네, 그러니까 동영상 보시고 일단 설문에 맨 마지막에 설문을 할 거니까 설문 내용이시기 바랍니다. 그 다음에 네 번째 세션은 4시부터 X86 서버에 대해서 서버의 진화에 대해서 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 그러면 지금부터 CRM의 진화, CXM, 고객 경험 관리에 대해서 동영상을 감상하도록 하겠습니다.
Well, welcome to today's presentation. My name is Yungshan Lei. I'm the sales director for Oracle at APAC, looking after the service automation solution. And today we're going to talk about why customer experiences is becoming so important. At the same time, we're going to look at why, if it's so important, why most of the organizations are struggling to get it right. And then last but not the least, we're going to talk about how Oracle, as one of the leading technology vendor in the world, can help organizations improve their customer experiences delivered to their client base. But before we get started, here's our standard safe harbor statement. All we're trying to make sure the audience understand today is the information we're providing you is purely to educate you. It's for information purpose. Should you be interested in finding out more about the product and services we're offering, the development, release, roadmap, and so forth, please contact your local Oracle representatives directly. So with that out of the way, let's get started. We're talking about customer experiences and why it's so important. Personally, I believe we are right in the middle of a paradigm shift, and that's what's causing the customer experience being talked about, being studied, being put on the top of a corporate agenda. That paradigm shift is the power of the power is going from brands and vendors such as ourselves to the consumer side. The customers has more power than ever before, and there's two reasons behind that. First is the revolution of web. Think about an average consumer. They can now compare price, study the competitors' offering. They can switch their supplier without leaving the comfort of their house. Right? The web giving them so much choice at the fingertips, making doing business or changing the way they do business so easy. And the second reason driving this paradigm shift is the voice of customers. I've heard in the past where an angry customer can tell up to 23 people, or tell 23 people on average. With the social networking sites like Facebook, like YouTube, all of a sudden their audience are in the millions. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the horror story of United Breaks guitar. A simple YouTube video has gone viral, and that is an example, or really bad example, of how loud the customer voices are using these social channels. And this is the reason why everybody's talking about customer experience and why customer experience becoming so important. Okay? But how do we deliver a good customer experience? And obviously, you need a great product. Think about Apple. They're fantastic iPad and iPod products. But that is not enough. So some of the surveys we have done to your consumers, we found 73% of the consumers say they want a great, friendly customer services. Okay. 55% of the consumers say they want to make sure the information about your product and your services is easily accessible. And 36% of the consumers saying, hey, we're sick of being treated just as a group of as a credit card number. We want you to know who we are and communicate the information only relevant to us. We talk about delivering great customer experiences, and when we get it right, the upside is tremendous. every organization is pressured to deliver better revenue and improve the top-line performances. So in this case, we find the consumers are happy to pay 25% more if you are offering them a consistent, great customer experiences. So immediately, that's a solution to our revenue problem. Yeah. However, if we get it wrong, the downside is pretty bad as well. Unfortunately, as part of our survey results, we find only 1% of the consumers find they're getting a good customer experiences. And because of the internet we talked about earlier, the customers can switch provider very easily. So close to 90% of the customers, after bad experience, they will leave you, they'll go to your competitors. But at the same time, don't forget people are willing to forgive. Forgiveness is one of the human nature. Almost half of the customers who had a bad customer experience, they say, hey, we are happy to give our brand or provider up to a week to fix the mistake. There's a book on Amazon called A Complaint is a Gift. It's really talking about when a customer put their hands up and making a complaint. It's them saying, hey, come and help me fix the problem. We like your product, like your brand. We like to stay with you. And if you fix the problem, we'll stay loyal and we'll keep on spending more money with you. Unfortunately, a lot of these complaints are ignored. We talked about the two reasons earlier of why customer has more power, and the second reason is the voice of the customer. So let's use that as an example. About a quarter of the customers, after they had a bad experience, they will go to social media sites like Twitter and Facebook and talk about their bad their bad experience. And 78% of these bad feedbacks are failed to be answered by any brands or organizations. However, the ones who manage to get it right, the other 22%, half of them manage to turn a bad experience into a positive one for their customers. And about 19% of those customers actually went back to the same social media site and posted a positive feedback. And that's the beauty of social media. It's fair. Bad news travels fast. Good news travels just as fast. So we talked about why customer experiences is so important now, and if we get it right, you can charge customer a higher price for your services and goods you're delivering. At the same time, if you get it wrong, customer will leave you. So it's obviously very important for every single business. But why is it most of us can't get it right? We saw that earlier. Our research found only 1% of the customers feel like they're getting a consistent good customer experiences. Why is it so hard? There's so many reasons behind that. But at Oracle, we believe one of the main issues driving these challenges, or one of the main obstacles for business to deliver a good customer experience, is the complexity of the business environment. So think about how many different ways your customers can do business with you today. They can walk into your storefront. They can meet with your salespeople. They can pick up the phone, call your contact center. They can go to the web. They can go to the social media places. And now everybody is using mobile device rather than computer, so that requires a separate way of communicating. It's very, very complex. If you think about, and more than that, the customers tend to jump between different communication channels now. It's not just, hey, if I go into a website, I want to find information about your product and I want to purchase on the web. No, customer switch and jumps at will. Using a personal experience, I recently bought a camera. Right? In order to decide which camera I'm going to buy, I went to different forum sites where people talk about their experiences with different cameras, whether you're amateur or professional. And then I went to the camera sites, the manufacturer sites, to look at more information so that I narrow my research down to 2 or 3 models. And then I pick up the phone and call the local camera shops and make sure they have one in stock, because I don't want to make an expensive purchasing decision purely based on the information on the internet. I want to feel it and touch it and sell it. It feels the weight, is it easy to operate, and so forth. After all of that, did I take out my wallet and buy the camera? No, I didn't, because I went back to the web. I look up the cost associated with the camera I finally decided to purchase, and compare different suppliers, and finally narrow down to one. So think about the journey I've had so far. That's even before I made the purchasing decision. I started from the web, went to social, went back to the web, and pick up the phone, contact center, face-to-face interaction with the store clerk. So if for average organization to be able to handle this cross and multi-channel interaction, it's hard. Because if you think about where the business starts today, and if you look at the slide in front of you, let's start from the left. Most of the business starts from a brick-and-mortar shop. Right? People used to be able to walk in, pick up the product, pay for it, and leave. And then all of a sudden, customers decided to call us when they have a problem. Business started busy building these contact centers or call centers in the old days. Then in the 90s, the web took off. All the business started building the website to promote their services, and then all of a sudden, customers are sending emails rather than just picking up the phone, asking questions, making inquiries. So we need to add a separate, web and email channel. Until today, most of us talk about it as, this is our email management team. And of course, the mobile devices took off, the SMS, the access using the smartphone devices to your websites and email. And the last couple of years, social really took off as well. Customers want to engage us on the social networking side, so we need to add social as part of the channel. As we're adding more channels to the way customers can interact with us, it adds tremendous complexity to the operations. And in order to manage the operations, we need to define service level agreements, KPIs, automation, and workflow processes, so we can run our operations effectively. And that's why we use terms today. We're using terms like average call handle time, average waiting time. We want to measure the success of our services to using KPIs like 80% of the emails should be answered within the first 4 hours. These are just some of the examples. They're great because a business cannot survive without these internal measures. However, there are two issues with them. First one is these KPIs and service levels are designed in silo. When we say silo, it's focused on a particular channel. As the example I gave earlier, phone got their own SLAs, email have their own, sometimes social have their separate sets of service levels. They fail to talk to each other. And second issue is most of these KPIs and service levels are really designed for internal use. Right? That's what we call it an inside out. Organizations are designing these KPIs focused on how we can manage our operation, but we fail to look at it from the outside in. From your customer point of view, how does these KPIs or service levels impact their experience when they do business with your organization? Okay. And because of this siloed and inside-out approach, we have horror stories like the examples I'm showing on this slide deck. People who purchase online, they can't pick it up from the local store. Why? Because the business is not equipped or don't have the system to support that business practice. Or the reps who visit the customers face to face all the time can't see the web orders. Again, same thing. The system is not transparent, and organizations fail to understand the customer's cross-channel interaction requirements. So the result is, the customer interactions or the experiences are inconsistent. Customer feel like the channels are so disconnected when they interact with you. They don't feel personable. We saw earlier, 37% of the customers want you to know who they are, but if we don't even know what their activities are across different channels. How can we deliver that personalized experiences? So, I mean, this is the challenges. This is one of the main reasons why most of the commercial organizations fail to deliver great customer experiences. So, Oracle as the leader, a leading technology provider, how can we help you as a customer or potential customer address this issue? Well, we think there's a couple of areas we can help you. The first one is the consistent voice. We need to make sure it doesn't matter how and which channel customer choose to interact with you, they get the consistent information. The web, social, email, or pick up the call. It's the same information they get. And also, it should be the same interaction experience they receive as well. That requires all this channel to talk to each other. If a customer decided to order something on the web, but halfway through the ordering process, they want to pick up the phone and speak to someone, the customer service rep needs to be able to answer need to know who the customer is, what they are looking at ordering, and help provide information relevant to that purchasing decision. Just an example. We need to personalize the customer journey because that's what the customers are demanding in order to qualify you as one of the better vendors in terms of providing a good customer experience. We need to be able to provide our services effectively. Everybody wants to deliver a good experience, but unfortunately, nobody has an unlimited operational budget. So not only we need to do our job right, we need to make sure we do it effectively at a lower cost. And we need to build a rewarding relationship with your clients. On the screen, a couple of slides earlier, one of the examples, a client is saying, hey, we're making, I like your organization. I've done a lot of referrals, but as time goes on, you fail to provide me any reward. I'm not going to do this anymore. We need to change that. We need to make sure customers feel this is an ongoing relationship. We recognize their help, and we are rewarding them accordingly. Another area is the customer. We need to understand the customer experiences are infused through the entire customer life cycle. I gave purchasing a camera example earlier, and according to this slide, it's really just step 1, 2, and 3. Okay? What about the rest of them? Customer want a consistent customer experiences through the life cycle. So whatever we're doing, we need to make sure we can manage that and we can deliver that every single step of the way. So from a technology point of view, here's what we believe would help you deliver a good customer experience to your clients. So on the top of the screen, we have all these different channels we need to manage. Right? In order to manage that, we at Oracle have a suite of interconnected, fully integrated experience applications. We call them the CX applications. This is where we drive the managed interaction, the social, the web, the email channel, the phone channel. While we're managing all these interactions, we talked about earlier, internal service levels, KPIs, automations are very, very important. That's how an operation can run effectively. And that's why we have a suite of CRM applications, customer relationship management solutions, and that will drive these automations and manage the people and processes. And last but not least, sitting below all of this is master data management. Now, this goes beyond database. What we're doing is managing data from all different sources. We cleanse them, we unify them, so that an organization has a single moment of truth about your customers. Remember, your customer want you to know who they are. They want you to know what they have purchased, what they intend to purchase in the future, what their problem is, and resolve them accordingly. So, Oracle being a leading technology provider, we have a tremendous R&D resource and R&D team behind us, but we also understand there are a lot of best breed players out there, and we want to make sure we can provide our customers the best solution available. So in the last couple of years, we have made a number of acquisitions. We started from ADG, who is one of the best e-commerce solution available. And then we moved on to FatWire, who offers a marketing solution. Inquira has a great knowledge management solution because offering customers the consistent information across different channels is the key. 55% of the consumers say for them a good customer experience means the information is easily accessible. So having a good knowledge base is key, but that's not enough. We need to make sure a customer can find it easily, and that's why we introduced Indaka to our solution deck. And the last but not the least is RightNow. RightNow in its own right has been around for more than 10 years, and they were recognized as a leader in providing that multi- and cross-channel customer service experiences. And RightNow is a key focus, a key part of the matrix for us. So, if you are a customer who, if you're an organization who has retail, who has retail outlets, or you're in the B2C business, what can you expect if you come to Oracle and say, hey, we need you to help us to build a technology framework to support us on this customer experience journey? We understand you have different channels you need to manage. Then from Oracle CX, which is the Experience Application Suite, we have a fantastic solution suite to help you manage and build your websites, support your e-commerce initiatives. We talk about the knowledge management initiative so that your customers get the consistent information and make sure it's easily accessible anywhere, anytime. And of course, we have a retail point-of-sale solution should you need that. Driving the operational efficiency in using the Oracle CRM suite of product, we can help you to automate some of the processes, drive the workflow, manage the service levels across marketing, sales, service, and loyalty, and ordering process divisions. And then at the bottom layer, the master data management, will help you to pull all the data information about your customers and your products together so that you can drive that business intelligence, make intelligent decisions moving forward, and we'll also support you make the real-time decisions. So when something happens, we can, based on the information we have, we can make the correct recommendation to your frontline staff on the spot. In terms of business, then we talk about what we can do on the technology side. The real business value for us, it really summarizes into A, R, E, or R. A is for acquisition. We can help the business manage opportunities, improve the conversion rate, and drives up the value of these transactions. A really good example, Telecom New Zealand has been a good customer of ours, and they use our chat solution online. Okay? Until today, chat channel offers the highest conversion channel among all their customer interactions, and that's including the in-store face-to-face sales. So that is a tremendous example on how deploying the right solution can help you improve the conversion rates. R is for retention. It's about building the customer's trust, building that ongoing relationship and loyalty. E is for efficiency. We talked about it earlier. We want to do everything right, but at the same time, we want to make sure we can reduce operational costs and do it effectively. So here's another great example. U.S. Air Force Personnel Center. They service about 1.5 million Air Force personnel around the world. And for them, they had some issues before they engaged with us. One is on the retention side. Their customer satisfaction is very poor. Two is on the efficiency side, because for them it takes 20 minutes on average to answer an inquiry from the Air Force personnel. So after engaging with Oracle, we did a couple of things. We make sure the information are easily accessible online or to the internal staff through various channels. And we also fixed the way the agent operates. So we changed the agent desktop. We unified different systems, drove some process automation behind the scene. The result was fantastic. First of all, on the retention side, customer satisfaction went from very poor to good. And then on the efficiency side, instead of 20 minutes to answer inquiry, they are now only takes them 2 minutes. So we're talking about 1,000% efficiency gain. and using the technology we have provided. So this will pretty much conclude my presentation today. Quickly summarize, we talked about why customer experience is important, and why a lot of the business are struggling to get it right. And we concluded with Oracle as a leading technology provider, how we can help business deliver a great customer experience while keeping the cost low. Please stay in touch with us, and so you can understand the latest and the newest development in terms of our CX and CRM strategy. You can stay in touch with us using social media or go straight to our corporate websites. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to speak to you very soon.
자, 그럼 바로 두 번째 동영상 시청하도록 하겠습니다.
Stuart McGrath here, the Director of A&P Direct and IPAC. It's a pleasure to be part of this webcast today. I'm going to spend some time talking around customer experience and what we have done at A&P in relation to that, and particularly in relation to the A&P Direct business, which I run. There's 7 different sections I'm going to talk through today. Talk a little bit about A&P Direct and also IPAC, where I have other responsibilities. Talk a little bit about A&P Direct and how we have worked together with Oracle right now. I'll share with you some of the initial steps we took with right now in terms of using knowledge as the basis for building up our customer experience, talk around some of the benefits of knowledge. We've also rolled out a click-to-chat application as well as self-serve tools for customers, and then I'll share with you some of the thoughts around what we'll be doing next. In terms of A&P Direct, our company is 163 years old, having been founded in 1849. Predominantly around financial planning and advice with the utilisation of superannuation or pension products, retirement income and other investment products for individuals, superannuation services for businesses and employer-sponsored schemes as well. A&P Direct is a telephone-based sales business with sales consultants selling income protection, disability and life insurance products, as well as superannuation. I have more than 60 staff in my team who are predominantly phone-based, but we also do make sales through amp.com.au. And I also have responsibility for marketing of IPAC, which is another large financial advisory firm here in Australia. When we started with Right Now, we looked at what we wanted to do in terms of our customer experience, and I was responsible for a project where we were rolling out a new website for customers, and what we were struggling with was how to get a business case up and running and to make it actually fly. And so we started to look at some tools we could use in terms of driving self-service for customers, and then we stumbled upon some interesting discoveries around A&P. But before I go into those, let me just talk about what our customer strategy was. We wanted to give customers the opportunity to come in through multiple channels. One of those was for them to be able to come online and self-serve. We wanted those channels to be integrated, so if they were talking to a customer service operator over the phone or they were online, they were getting the same answers. And then also we wanted customer service operators to be able to see if a customer had been on the website and what content that they had looked at on there. So that was one of our key strategies, just that there was continuity across all the channels. The second thing I did was we nested the business case for these customer experience tools into the upgrade of amp.com.au, and it was actually the thing that made the business case for the web upgrade. Without that, we probably would not have got the web site upgrade business case across the line. It required a fair bit of business change. There was some frontline ownership we needed to change in terms of the content in the knowledge base. We needed to integrate with other web authoring tools within the organisation, and had to train staff to accept that this was the single source of truth for all compliance documents. In terms of some of the benefits and successes we had as a result of the project, we were able to reduce full-time employees in our contact centre by 9. There was cost savings of around $700,000 per annum. Call volumes were reduced by 10%, and average handle time was reduced by 5%. As I said earlier, there were some challenges for staff in terms of having to utilise this one knowledge base for all their information. There was no more shortcuts on desktops or documents they could scan and email to customers. They had to always go to the most current documents available in the knowledge base. And one of the other challenges was we didn't want to introduce a new authoring tool for staff across the organisation. If they were authoring content for our website, we wanted them to use the same authoring tool for the knowledge base. So we had to integrate the Right Now tool with Vignette. Why did we choose Right Now? Well, it was a great platform with the way it can be extensible and add on different functions and features. That was of interest to it, and we've added some of those. And just the low cost of implementation was another reason we decided to go with that platform. So let me tell you a little bit about AMP Direct, and I just want to share a story with you around a customer and a recent call that I was double-checking on. And this just gives you a bit of a feel for my business. We got an inbound call from a customer. He was an electrician or plumber, a tradesperson, and he was ringing up to ask whether he could one, get public liability insurance, but also whether he could get insurance for his tools. Now, my organisation doesn't provide those sort of insurances, and we were able to refer him to someone else, but my consultant asked him whether he actually had his life insured and whether he had his income insured as well. If he had an injury or was unable to work, would he still be able to pay his bills? Would he still be able to look after his family and those he cared for? It transpired that he didn't have those insurances, and the consultant was able to sell those insurances to him. So what that really showed was that, or demonstrates, is that the products and services that AMP provide to customers and the experience that we deliver to customers is about protecting their key asset, which is themselves and their ability to work and generate income for themselves and for their family. So my team is very much about providing those kind of insurances, personal insurances for staff, for customers. And we do that over the phone and give customers the channel of choice to be able to do that. The tools that we use with Right Now, as I mentioned, we use a number of different tools. The first one we use is something we call a centralised knowledge base internally in AMP for AMP consultants to use or phone consultants. There's also a knowledge base on amp.com.au which is run off the Right Now platform. In our web experience, we use chat and self-service. We also use social experience, the social experience centre, where we monitor what is being said in the cloud about AMP. And as I said, the customer strategy is all about self-service and having integrated channels. We started our journey with AMP with knowledge. Started with an internal knowledge base, and what we discovered as we went into this project was that there were 9 different knowledge bases across AMP. They ranged from various official knowledge bases through to the scary discovery of someone's C drive, a lady named Cheryl who'd left AMP 8 years ago. This C drive is still being used by customer service operators to look up content and discover various pieces of information which was actually often out of date and great compliance issues. So what we're able to do is to bring all this data together into a single knowledge base which could be displayed for customer service operators internally, for our financial planners through their portal, and also for customers through amp.com.au. So the benefits were we moved from 9 different knowledge bases to 1. We were able to remove some of the compliance challenges that we had, particularly around unauthorised knowledge bases, and we were able to make sure that we had a single source of truth for all our documents, for product disclosure statements, for financial services guides, and all other documents across the organisation all resided in the knowledge base and were able to be used by customers directly through the website, or were able to be used by customer service operators. One of the other features we also delivered was a feedback option where customer service operators and also customers could provide feedback directly to the team that managed the knowledge base, and that enabled that team to be able to drive new content and new articles within the knowledge base to make sure that we were addressing those right things. One of the early things we also did was roll out click to chat, and the initial experience we did was we rolled it out right across the website, but we've since narrowed it just to various application forms online where people or customers can apply for forms. And the reason were a lot of servicing inquiries were coming through to the sales team where they should be going to the service area. But this has been an amazing tool for us, and I'll tell you a story about a customer who utilised this. One of my consultants was on the click to chat application, and a call came through from a customer, and what eventually transpired was this customer was contacting us from an internet cafe in the north of England. The gentleman who was on the click to chat had gone into an internet cafe, had managed to find a machine which had some spare credit on it, and came to the AMP website, saw that there was a click to chat option and connected through. He was someone who was homeless. He was living in a bus shelter in the north of England. He had no money to his name, and what he did, he was an Australian but living in the UK, and realised that there was, he remembered that he had money with AMP, that there was some money in an AMP account, but he had no way of contacting us, but kind of thought, I'll go to the website, see if I can send an email, but eventually had this chat, and my consultant was able to release some money, get that over to him very quickly in the UK, get him off the street, and get that some money released from his superannuation or pension account, and get him repatriated to Australia. So it just shows that this channel provides unexpected results or unexpected experiences for customers, and that's a story that we tell often, and it really goes back to AMP's founding noble purpose. We have a Latin motto which is amicus certis in re incerta, and that translated to English is a sure friend in uncertain times, and that's what AMP was to this gentleman in the north of England. We were a sure friend in an uncertain time in his life, and we really try to ground what we deliver and the experience that we deliver to customers back into that ethos that really comes from the founding days of AMP. In terms of click to chat, our consultants love it. They just like it as a change from being on the phone, making outbound calls or receiving inbound calls. And the benefit to the business has been that we now have a much higher completion rate for online applications. So if customers do struggle through the application form, they can reach out to us through a click to chat, stay in the channel that they're in, and then get assistance from a consultant to help them to complete their business. The other thing that we delivered as part of the Right Now rollout was a self-service application. Again, this runs off knowledge, but it allows customers to come in, find the answers they want, how they want, with free text search. This drove a lot of calls out of the contact centre, so no longer were the number of calls. So I think we reduced the number of calls into the contact centre by 10% in the first year. Our average handle time improved by 5% because the consultants were using the same data. We were able to reduce headcount in the contact centre by 9 full-time employees, and our cost savings were around $700,000 per year. So what's next for AMP? Well, AMP Direct is growing at 20% year on year, and we expect that growth to continue. The online channel, a part of my business, is larger than any other financial planning practice across the organisation. Our customers are voting with their feet and choosing the channel of choice. And I want to leave you with one final story that we had from a customer recently. Again, I was double jacking with one of my consultants, and this customer had what we call a heritage product. It was a product that may have been taken out by her parents or herself quite a number of years ago. She was making monthly contributions to that, and the payout figure on that policy was $75,000. She had received a letter from AMP notifying her that the policy was becoming due, and that there would be a payment of $75,000 to her. Now, she'd received that letter on the day that she was going overseas, and was actually calling from abroad to find out what she should do with that money. As the consultant spoke to her, we came to realise that there was also another $150,000 that she had in various pension accounts that should all be rolled up and consolidated into one account. This woman had a financial planner attached to her policy. Now, she lived in the north of Australia. Her financial planner lived in the south of Australia, probably about 24 hours drive away from each other, and she'd not actually heard from her financial planner for a number of years. Now, she'd chosen a particular channel that she wanted to work with. She wanted to do it over the phone, but in that instance, we were unable to help her because of various licensing requirements, and that's one of the things we're looking to address. How can we utilise the regulatory environment in which we operate to deliver phone-based financial advice rather than just general advice? We want to deliver phone-based financial advice. Some of the other things that have happened recently across the business, AMP has merged with AXA in Australia and New Zealand, and we've moved all of the AXA customers into our enterprise data warehouse, which is an Oracle database, and that is now all visible. Those customers are all now visible in Siebel CRM, and we're continuing to look for opportunities between Right Now and Siebel, how we can, now that they're both part of the Oracle group of companies, that we can bring those two together and just really drive a more effective customer experience. So that's where AMP Direct is moving. There's some of the opportunities that we see in the future, and I just thank you for your time today. Thank you.
네, 여러분 제가 이거 번역하느라고 제가 좀 애를 좀 썼습니다. 네. 자, 이제 설문에 마저 응해 주시고요. 설문에 응해 주신 분들한테 저희가 USB 메모리하고 외장 하드 저희가 추첨해서 드리겠습니다. 자, 그리고 이제 10분 쉬었다가요. 지금이 몇 시죠? 지금이 10분 3시 50분이니까요. 4시부터 지금 오라클 X86 시스템에 대해서 전문가를 모시고 저희가 50분간 진행을 하겠습니다. 마지막 세션입니다. 자, 그러면 여러분 10분 뒤에 뵙겠습니다.